Welcome back to the Carolina Justice Report. This is Rainey Romero with the lovely law firm, chatting again with my favorite ladies, attorneys Sarah Austin and Amy Lawrence. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Good. How are you?
Stick with us. We're going to go into a deep dive with the Murdaugh mysteries about where is the money.
And no one questioned it.
Now, do we know when this started? Like when he first started stealing victims' money? Is it something that's been going on for years and years?
That was like 2016, I thought, but I think it might have been happening earlier. I'm not sure when he created that fake Forge account.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I think this has been going on for over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah, and there could have been accounts similar to that account, but
And
named
really,
differently.
we never would have really known about it had the mysteriousness of all the murders happened, right? Or would we have known that he was stealing that money anyways?
I don't think, I think that's what kind of like was the catalyst. So, you know, we had the Mallory Beach case. Really, it comes back to the Mallory Beach case.
And her attorneys are doing a lot of work, and I think that I know that we're waiting for SLED to investigate murders and things like that, but Mallory Beach's and the boat crash victims' attorneys are the ones that actually froze his account and got the receiver and are doing the accounting of where all this stuff is.
Yeah.
And by them doing that, it's really going to help explain to the other victims who are like, well, I've been,
I didn't even know I was a victim.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he took my money. I didn't know my
I
case
knew I
was
had a
settled.
settlement and I'm still waiting for it.
So
And
had
it's-
that boating accident not happened, this technically could still be
would
going
still be
on.
happening.
Perpetually, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's insane.
So it threw so when Mallory Beach, when all this happened, and then we have the murders of Maggie and Paul, everything came into question after that. And so, and we see, Hampton County is a very rural, very poor county. And I say that with the utmost love and respect. But, they're just working people.
Yeah.
They're people like my dad.
Yeah.
And they're people like my grandpa. And salt of the earth, good people, and they just don't know. And they all trusted him implicitly because, he's part of this family that's just known as lawyers, and they just think that
you're
he's going to do
trusted
the
to know
right
what you're
thing.
doing. Yes.
Yeah,
And they
just like
get
people
great
trust-
results.
Yeah.
Honestly, they do
They
get great
big
results.
verdicts,
But
big
it's just
things.
the victims of these crashes or falls or the injured people are not seeing these great results actually come to them, which is the sad part.
Well, and, to back up to Gloria Satterfield. So apparently, Alec paid a $500,000 settlement for that they don't know what happened with as well, right?
We include that number because I think there's multiple insurance policies.
Okay.
And it was initially we thought it was only 500,000, but then we learned that there was an extra 4 million.
Yeah.
Or
I think
little
the
under
total
3.8.
is like 4.3 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Including that.
That he paid to her?
He didn't pay anything.
Okay.
No, it would
He
be
took
a homeowner's insurance
a
policy
homeowner's
would
insurance
cover a
policy
fault
and
like
an umbrella
that. And so when
Gotcha.
you talk about Mozelle, if she fell at Mozelle or their other property, these are $1 million homes with $1 million insurance policies.
I mean, we're talking about hundreds of acres of land that
Right.
back up to the water.
So
Well, and
that's where
speaking
that
of, his home is up for sale right now.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
Murdaugh home.
And that I also find it to be very odd that it was not put on like the MLS, like a normal home. Anytime I've ever seen a home that's represented by a realtor, you put it on the MLS. And there was no Zoom, right? There was no Zillow, that's the word.
Right.
There's no Zillow, there's no realtor.com
Right.
for this home. And
property.
instead, it's like a pocket listing and they're selling it. And the question is like, what are they why? Like,
Yeah.
why are we doing it that way? The more that people try to keep things in the dark, there's usually a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, my life's an open book. I overshare probably, and it's because I just don't have anything to hide.
To
You know what I
hide,
mean?
yeah.
It is what it is. What it is.
Right.
Good, bad, and indifferent. But when you see people trying to hide something, there's usually a reason. They're ashamed of what they're doing. They're doing the wrong thing. There's something that's tied to that. And when you see something that is with all eyes are on it, they're hiding how they're doing it, then there's probably something afoot that's not good.
Yep. Well, and I think, and again, I am not a lawyer, so I don't know how legit this is, but I think they are kind of trying to fight over this house to use that to pay victims back, to use.
Well, he tried to
what that's
disinherit
worth.
himself
Yeah.
to give so that they would never get it. And this, come on, oh, it makes me so mad. law firm files a lawsuit, right? So first in line, right? First to the courthouse steps is how your line of how you're going to get paid.
Because there's a lot of
essentially.
victims.
There's a
Right,
lot of
right.
victims. So they sue, and this also is what really just burns my ass up, is we see his law firm sue him for this amount of money. And he goes and signs a confession of judgment. Guilty, I owe it. So that puts them first in line, which makes them feel like they're a part of the conspiracy. That
Yeah.
was the worst thing
Yeah.
that they could have ever done if they had nothing to do with any of this stuff.
Yeah,
Because it made them look guilty as hell.
Yes.
Whether they are or not, it makes them look that way.
Right.
I mean, not even guilty or not, just sort of when that happens, you know, you want the injured people to be first. You want Mallory Beach's family
it makes them look like
first
they're a
in
part of-
line,
right.
you know? And so you just kind of take a step back and say, you were a successful law firm.
You know,
We've
we've
got
all
enough
made
money.
millions and millions of dollars. Let's just let this play out and let
Yeah.
these people who are really hurt, people who've died, paraplegics,
Yeah.
people who've been terribly hurt, to let them
Claim whatever money is left because
Right.
we didn't even talk about the jail calls on the last podcast. I mean, the last report, but him and Buster are talking. He's talking to his brother. They're moving money around and they're doing it to try to save. I think he's doing it all. And like he tried to have himself killed.
Right.
This is all for Buster so that he doesn't have nothing when this is all over.
Right.
which is crazy. He is a healthy, like 30, how old is he? 30, 28? Like,
I don't know, but he
late-
was in law school.
Yeah.
So he surely can go back.
Yeah, I
and-
mean, he has a full-time job.
Right.
When we hear these, these jail phone calls between them, he's constantly trying to make sure he has money, right? Mm-hmm. He has a full-time job. This is not someone who can't work a job. Like,
Right.
he has a full-time job. He lives with his girlfriend rent-free. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In her home.
Yeah.
This is not
He
somebody
wants him to
who's
have the
desperate.
high life,
This is
apparently.
not a 15-year-old kid.
Right.
Or 18-year-old kid who can't pay for this
I
is
just think-
a grown man.
Yeah, he's worried about saving his money for Buster. I think from when I listen to the jail calls, it sounds like Alec has kind of given up on himself getting out of this. And now
Right.
he's just
Right.
like, preserve what you can preserve. And so moving stuff around and selling the house. But now there's the receiver, thanks to the boat victims attorneys freezing all the assets.
Right.
And we're going to figure it out. If anyone's going to figure it out, it's going to be them. 'Cause
Oh,
they're-
right.
Yeah,
They're on it.
They are a full throttle for justice right now. Not just
Yeah.
Mallory Beach. I feel like they're doing it for everybody at
Yeah.
this point.
Between
And so-
Eric Bland and the Beach family's attorneys, we're going to.
We'll find out. And I think we'll find out what happened, and we're definitely going to find out. Hopefully, the South Carolina Supreme Court and ODC really takes a harder look at those trust accounts. We're required to submit them, so they had to be submitted.
And what's going on with
figures out
Mallory?
what happened.
Mallory Beach getting her settlement. Are we waiting for all of this?
So, yeah. I mean,
To
it's just
unfold.
up in the air. And right now there's a dram shop, and we do dram shop cases all the time. And so we know that Parker's, which was a gas station, had sold Paul Murdaugh underage, right? Alcohol underage. And they're part of this dram shop issue, and they're fighting it tooth and nail. And they're doing some really shady things along the way.
When life gets ugly, justice is lovely. The love